Why is it always some old black and white boy telling us young fellas that we ain't relevant in a world that embellishes like a relative content from these elements? You call them stars, I call them settlements, cause they didn't settle for settlements built on a steady sediment. Ashes from the already crashed and burned, dust from past residents. So I can feel it in my bones, I'm feeling in the zone. More when I'm on the way, but the same when I'm feeling home. So I'm comfortable, I know you are too. Me and Powers R1D2, Star Wars Harvest Moon feast food. But please don't come peaceful, but kill that noise if it's at all equal. I tell you what, man, let's make it equal. So I can show you the math, but I don't do sequels. Instead, I'ma use physics to determine how we move. Use ethics to perspective our objective. Because our efforts to fulfill our destinies, the universe expected. So we gotta fight back, take the night back, take our lives back. Our efforts must be twice that of our enemies.
And with that being said, welcome to another episode of the
Motherfucking Squadcast podcast. Welcome to. How we doing, brother DJ?
Doing good, bro. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Got my brew.
Got his brew. How y'all doing, family out there, YouTube land? Hope y'all doing good out there. Like he said, subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Junkyard Gang. Last night's show was pretty fucking epic.
Oh, it's one of the best ones we've had so far.
Crazy as
hell. Top five.
And the only reason why I was top five because brother DJ was a part of that.
Definitely added to the mix.
I'm not gonna say that. But no, it was good to be amongst my brothers. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't been on part of the Junkyard Gang, so I appreciate you, brother Chef, and letting me be a part of that.
Thanks for stopping by.
Subscribe to their fucking channel. No, I'm just playing around. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Hit the notifications. Make sure you subscribe to Squadcast Podcast. And last but not least, shout out to everybody that's a part of the movement, all the Squadcast members, all the Junkyard Gang members. I usually run y'all name off on an individual basis, but by now, y'all know who y'all are. Family, y'all know who they are. Much love and respect.
We appreciate you. Well, brother, just another Thursday around here, huh?
Just another bleeping Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you know when it's just another Thursday.
Yeah.
Texas decides to do something.
Is it Texas Thursday? Is that what we naming it today?
It's Texas Monday, Texas Tuesday, Texas down the line.
It's pretty damn bad.
Texas is on some shit, brother.
Hey, I mean, we can go with the voter rights, how they did that, and then we can go in Texas. Y'all fucking up. Y'all not looking too good right now, except for the music. That's it.
All right. Well, let's start with the old women's rights, man.
Okay. I wish Godmother was here for this.
Oh my God! I wish she was too. Missed opportunity on to tell him, but men can speak on these topics too. Okay. Yep. So whether they apply to us or not, and in some
objectively
short in some way, all freedoms apply to everybody essentially. So protect them where you can.
Yeah.
That being said, so Texas has lost their damn mind. Abbott signed into law not too long ago a bill that made it possible for just private citizens to sue people who have gotten abortions past the 6 week
and those who assisted in helping with said abortion. So you could be the driver. Mm-hmm. You could be a person that even made the suggestion.
Mm-hmm. You're maybe even your boyfriend took you to the abortion clinic. He too will be sued as well, and the reward being $10,000 if you successfully prove that they have broken this particular law here. Now, the state wiped their hands clean. They're not going to do shit to enforce the law. They're just going to let private citizens run these folks into the ground. Right. But people who can barely even afford this shit in the first place, an industry that's already struggling as it is, are just going to run it into the ground. God damn Texas. So what are your thoughts on this, brother? Is Texas, are they doing something good or are they doing something bad? How about that? Is that the question we can ask here?
To be or not to be, is that the question? Texas, to be or not to be Texas, I have the answer. Texas, y'all are not looking too good right now, in my opinion, respectfully. I love the great state of Texas. I've been to Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, all that good stuff. Had a great time, me and my family. But when it comes to shit like this, brother DJ is rather disgusted at what the state of Texas is doing. I don't understand what can possess people to think that they can govern and control women's bodies. For them to pass an abortion law where they only have to the 6 week mark to get that taken care of, where most women don't even find out until the 6 week mark that they're pregnant.
All right, or well after.
Well after, so it's like, How is that justifiable? Number one. Then number two, they said, well, I think rape victims. Mm-hmm. No. I don't even think rape victims.
I think rape victims are the exception. However, but incest is not.
Right. I was just gonna say
what the fuck, Texas?
So
what the fuck, Texas?
But then along with the rape, I mean, you have to like prove it.
Right.
You have to go through.
There has to be a conviction.
You have to go
otherwise,
through loopholes.
At least the complaint filed. Right. I don't know how
it can't just be, I'm filing a rape complaint and now I get the right to abort this child. You know, they made it way more difficult to do that. Mm-hmm. I think Texas is not going in the right direction. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish here. I don't know their overall objective or motive by doing something of this magnitude, where they're literally targeting women, and it's disgusting. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you guys don't know, I mean, definitely do your research, but it's been in the media everywhere.
Actually,
every news outlet.
That's the thing, isn't it, brother? Because while it has been in the news, it has not been the biggest story in the news.
No.
And arguably, certainly, if you're a Democrat and care anything about Democratic politics, mm-hmm. which I'm not a Democrat and I just care about politics.
Right.
I'm just saying, if you're on that side of the fence, this should be the number one thing in your mouth right now. You should be yelling and screaming, throwing a damn fit, and demanding the people you elected to do something about this.
Right.
Now, granted, it's the Supreme Court who failed to do anything about this, to strike down the law or put a stay on until it can be fully vetted by the lower courts.
The justice system is suing the state of Texas, or I did see something like that, the justice suing Texas for this abortion bullshit. I did see that. What's going to happen with that? The judicial system suing the state of Texas because of this? I don't know. I don't even know how that's even possible.
Right. Is that the federal level? Is that the state level where they're filing suits?
I think that's at the federal level, but I could be mistaken.
I'll have to look into that. That is
and I only just seen this today.
Okay.
As I was working with not so credible, because I don't believe in any of these media outlets to a degree. Not so credible media outlet that I would have playing in the background, and they were just saying that the federal judicial system is suing the state of Texas because of the abortion law. Now I'm just thinking, well, where was that shit at when they signed that voter shit at? Before we dive into that, but what are your thoughts on it?
Right. I mean, it's some wild shit. Like you said, a full-on assault on women, a violation of basic human rights.
Facts.
And none of these people who want to force these women to have births have a goddamn plan about what to do with these children once they're here.
Exactly.
They just assume that somehow people who don't want kids are going to figure out not only how to take care of a kid, but do it pleasantly, in an acceptable way. This is tantamount to modern day slavery. You're being forced to do something you don't want to do. All right. Otherwise, you'll be thrown in jail. You'll be fined. That's just fucking crazy, man. If anything, it points to a larger problem that is our Supreme Court system.
Yep.
Because, like, the idealist of the Supreme Court makes a ton of sense. Having these, high-minded figures who
justices
are well-versed in law and
supposed
theory,
to be.
right? At least
supposed to be.
And can figure out how to disseminate and put together what the law means and the Constitution is. And at least biased opinion as possible,
right?
Or at least biasly in an open view. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the ideal. We know who these people are. They put in the work and effort and time, and then we give them this high honor position because we respect their capability to handle this type of power control. However, the goddamn Republicans have figured out what it took to game the system. So while you got the Republicans, working on getting people that they want in the Supreme Court for 30, 40 years straight, the Democrats just booked this fucking sitting on their hands, doing nothing. Damn near all of, what's his name's, Donald Trump Supreme Court picks went, generally speaking, unopposed. They just said they didn't like it.
Right.
They didn't do anything. They didn't try to filibuster. They didn't try to retaliatorily strike with some sort of law or rule or anything. They just let this shit happen.
Just let it go.
Right. So here we are. We end up in a situation where you got these heavy conservative judges who not only that who have a known history of going against women's rights, essentially anti-abortion, pro-religious, political views.
Yo, the whole Trumpian movement
Supreme Court
started
justice.
off with grab them by the pussy. That's how it started out.
And the only reason this law is in effect right now is because of the Supreme Court system. They, the state petitioned, the opposers of the bill petitioned the Supreme Court. They refused to hear the bill. They said, in fact, that it didn't meet the qualifications.
Exactly.
Which generally means that, usually the qualifications are that the lower courts still need to go through it and make a final decision. So what they'll do is put a stay on the particular law until those lower courts make a final decision. In this case, the lower courts haven't made a final decision, and the Supreme Court has decided to ignore norms or standard practice and let the law go into effect because they are all pro-life / conservative assholes, essentially. Not all of them. The majority of that, right? That
let's keep it real.
I believe, Justice Sotomayor, had a nice dissenting opinion, but I don't do nothing. When it's I think it was 3 against 4, something of that.
Yeah, but when you're the minority in a group, I mean, you're only gonna rock the boat so much, metaphorically speaking. You definitely want to give your opinion, but you also don't want to be in a situation where you're being isolated by your constituents.
Right. True.
So I can understand how some of them kind of shy away from shit like that, but at the end of the day, what's best for America should be the bottom line.
Yeah, essentially.
The American people, whatever you want to label that shit.
Right. No, this isn't really unique for Texas, though. Unfortunately, this is kind of par for the course. They believe in guns, God, and not much else past that.
It's supposed to be
money comes into a play eventually, but they'll shoot you in the face for their God.
3 G's: God, guns, and glory. That's it. That's what they believe down there in oil country. But what's crazy though is that one, on top of this abortion shit that they got going on down there, that's raising all type of putting a lot of pressure on people down there. Then you had that. Before that, anyway, the gun shit. How you don't have to have a permit to carry a gun or anything. You can just walk around like it's the wild west out there, And then you compile that with the voter restriction laws that they put in, how you can't do mail-in ballots unless you have so many forms of identification, no more drive-up ballots. They canceled that. Like, it's just so
eliminating early voting times, shutting down voting locations in general. And redrawing districts as well, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually all a result of the Supreme Court striking down the Voting Rights Act back in 2016, 2017. I don't know, somewhere in there. But
I could. So with that, do you also believe that? Do you also believe that it could be that, and also a rebellion against everything that Biden is standing for because they don't really even acknowledge him as the president?
No, I don't think that has so much to do with it.
No, I'm just saying it's a part.
I think because even if you were a Republican who's more on the, leaning towards the pro-choice side, you were still going to get this out of them. You know what I mean? I mean, if you were pro-life? There we go.
Yeah,
pro-life Republican president, Texas will still do this. So I don't think it's a reaction to Joe.
I don't think. Well,
I think Texas has just done something that it took the rest of the country since Roe versus Wade to figure out how to do.
That's out the window. They don't even acknowledge that no more. They tossed that shit out.
It's almost surprising no one has thought of this before. Otherwise, do you know? I mean, someone probably did. And back in the day, people were like, "You shitbag, that's such a terrible thing to do." No, we will do this the right way. And then slowly but surely, like, let's just be bad guys about this and get it back in our favor here. So, the reaction should be, especially from Democrats, should be now to create laws exactly like this. So the Democrats should have a law in Texas or just a one where they're controlling power, where if they can empower private citizens to sue people who carry guns around with them. Right? The state ain't going to have a problem with it. The state's not going to have any gun laws that they're going to enforce, but they're going to empower people to sue people who are running around with a gun. And then also they can sue anyone who helped them get that gun or drove them to the store as well. Or, all kinds of stupid ass fucking laws to stymie our God-given rights in retaliation for this. They should be queuing up dumbass laws like this left and right in direct response to this. And this is one of those moments where you got to play, fight fire with fire.
Right.
Because thinking they're going to petition the Supreme Court, which right now is as a conservative Supreme Court, a super conservative Supreme Court, or thinking that even if we get a bill actually ratify abortion as a law in the Constitution, the Supreme Court can still take it out. They had that kind of power. They can say, nope, that's unconstitutional. The law doesn't matter. So they really just need to, if the Supreme Court's going to let these laws stand as they are, they need to run with the same idea, but aim it more towards the conservative side.
Right.
They need to go a tit for tat until the senses are gained and people realize, well, this is a bunch of goofy shit. Let's put these laws aside.
Well, that's never going to happen. In a perfect world, if we can believe it, we can achieve it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But that's just not going to happen. But my question is, going back to the abortion thing, because you brought up the suing. Like, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but once again, who has time to sit here and be like, okay, she looked like she's pregnant, and then a couple weeks later, well, what happened to the baby? Well, y'all not pregnant no more? Like, oh, well, yeah, hello? Yeah, Dolly across the street was pregnant, but then I think she might have, y'all might have, that's what's going on? That's what's going on?
Right.
That's what's going on, you know?
I know you have to have proof, so I'm not really sure what that is. And not only that, you probably got to have some sort of.
So we're going to go to the door, like, I need a blood sample, or let me see your medical records.
So, but I don't think that is so much the issue. Because me and you can think this through, right? We can thought process what this might even look like, and be like, "Fuck, this is a lot of work."
Exactly.
Maybe a little even bit of money up front, even trying to get something the ball rolling on this. Hell, paperwork alone, I'm sure filing a suit with the state costs $35. So, so I'm sure you need a little bit of money and time up front. So the main goal of the law is to intimidate people in the first place, and it's already worked. Day one. Abortion clinics across the state of Texas stopped performing abortions. And some of them even shut down. So immediately the law just being the law has the intended impact. So I don't even think it's not really even about worrying who's actually going to file a lawsuit. Yeah. The whole effect, what do they call that? A chilling effect or whatever. Right. It's just a giant scare tactic, and it's going to work. Because abortion clinics, everybody knows they don't make money. All right. In most cases, as far as I know, they're all nonprofit to some effect. So a $10,000 lawsuit, they cannot afford. Well, maybe a handful, maybe a couple, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however many they're performing a year, they can't swallow that shit whole. No way.
Well, my thing is, brother, is I also saw where they had those of high leadership of Planned Parenthood. Been interviewed and being talked to about that. And what I got out of that was that they're just handcuffed because they would have to abide by the law. And with that being said, they only can provide certain services, right. And they obviously don't like it. They don't agree with it. They wish that that they could do more, because obviously they would. But it's sad to see those that are in that industry can't help those who actually need it,
right?
Without backlash, without legal ramifications, right. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense. They're saying that they, it's not even about what's right or wrong. It's just a law now, So, even if I really wanted to perform it and I had the ability to, like, I feel obligated to follow the law. And that's why they need the laws to change. So I guess that kind of makes sense to a certain point. My instinct, if this was me,
if this was you,
as a non-medical professional, my instinct would be to break the law.
Break the law.
It would be. That would be. And it's probably wrong. It's probably not a good idea, as, I'd probably be the first person to find someone who can figure out how to sue my ass. So, but that's how I would go with it. My own personal.
So you're gonna risk it.
I'd have secret abortions. I'd be giving passcodes and private rides. The whole nine, just to make sure I'm able to provide the service.
So you're gonna be the Harriet Tubman of abortion. Okay,
that's right. Okay. Now, granted, the thing about I have to say up front, while I am pro-choice, I don't want nobody having an abortion. I think they're terrible. They shouldn't happen.
I don't think.
But we know that there are worse situations that arise that would have call for why that might happen, and also that I can't even begin to put myself in the shoes of any woman, whatever the circumstances, being pregnant. So if she feels otherwise, I got to take her at her word for it. Okay.
I would say that obviously with the woman carrying the baby, doing the 9 months of gestation and all that, I think that we need to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel like that's their course of action based on whatever situation that is, I would have to say, okay, that's your thing, and I would have to support you in that. Even though I am pro-life, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like to see or hear about people getting abortions unless, it's because of some crazy ass shit. Like you got raped or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Or if you can admit that you're not able to take care of this child.
Right. You can't take care of it from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
From a mental standpoint, because a lot of people nowadays, when you have kids, you're still a kid yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not really grown, fully developed. You don't really know
what you want out of life.
Exactly. You most of these people who have kids this age are still trying to live their damn life, party hard and all this other shit, and then wonder why that could be another show for another day. You get what I'm saying, bro? And I just,
we all know, and not even being one, but parenting is real business, serious business. And I've got to respect someone being able to clear-headedly say, I'm not ready for that. I can't do that. Because I don't want you to raise a fucked up person. I don't want someone robbing me. Exactly. I don't want some junkie. I don't want a homeless person. I don't want someone hurting other people in this world. I don't want someone who's just down and depressed and don't have nothing because of a terrible upbringing. We don't need that type of shit here.
We already got enough of that shit as it is.
Appreciate it. Give people real chances.
That's what it's supposed to be. So that's why you have all the people supposedly coming over here, because this is the land of what? Supposed to be the land of
the free,
of opportunity,
brave, the milk and honey.
The land of opportunity.
So much bullshit.
Yeah,
that's not what this is, though.
No,
that's not what this is.
You got Texas. Do I dare say bureaucrats, crazy ass bureaucrats down there just running amok? And it's sad that at the end of the day, you just got to bend to the will. I mean, what can you really do? You can protest.
You can defy the law, but there are consequences.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to steer the people
for sure
into that direction.
But they can't arrest us all.
They can't.
They can't do it.
They can't arrest us all. They can't prosecute us all. They can't hunt us all down.
Granted, I'm not volunteering to get arrested. I'm not trying to fill the space.
I'm not advocating space
to fill. Right. I'm just saying they can't arrest us all. It's tough because this is not a position I've been in. To abortion or not. So, I just feel for anyone who even has to have that conversation, let alone in Texas right now where you can't. It's a terrible goddamn position to be in, man.
It really is, and like I said, I got family down there, and granted, they're older and shit like that, but like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow, man. Like I just y'all just stay up, man. Keep y'all head up down there. Do the best y'all can. Make sure if y'all gonna do anything, make sure y'all do it in the legal way, within the boundaries, within the system. We don't need any more brothers and sisters going crazy down there and going to the can.
Unless you got a hell of a lawyer.
We still in the pandemic, which is something else I wanted to talk with my brother right here because Penny little
common sense.
Little common sense dropping. But variances coming out left and right. Cases are going up. And now I even seen where cases amongst children, 12 years and older, 11 and down, are spiking up through the roof. Even hospitalizations of children has increased. I seen a scale where they showed the cases from Labor Day last year opposed to cases Labor Day this year. Can't even compare.
That's real sad about the kids, bro.
Yeah,
that's real sad. These kids never even had a chance to be quite honest with you. Holy smokes. Every damn state in the union sent all the kids back.
Every one of them.
No mask, no COVID protocol.
Made mask optional. They said, we can't recommend, but I mean, we can't say not to, but we can't enforce, I'm just like, what are we doing here?
The simple truth is every school should be having shipments of N95 masks shipped to them on a weekly basis for staff and students. No questions asked.
None.
Simple as that. Not only that, kids probably shouldn't even be back in school right now.
Probably shouldn't be.
Should be on that remote shit still.
Even though we know that remote shit is not really successful for every kid.
Right.
But something is better than nothing.
If they're dead, they can't learn.
Exactly. I know a lot of great people who was homeschooled, and turned out to do great things. So
for sure,
I'm just throwing that out there as well. But I do believe that right now, if you're able to work from home, you need to be at home. Children need to be at home until we can really fully get a grasp on this thing. Because now they're talking about a booster shot. Even for those who've been fully vaccinated, the Pfizer booster shot. I think they've done studies or continue to do studies on if those of us who have the Modernas can get the Pfizer booster, along with those who took the 1-dose J&J before they took that off the shelf and then decided to bring it back.
Right.
I don't know much about AstraZeneca. I don't think we really have that here as an option. I think that's more overseas. But, with all the uncertainty, I don't think it's in the best interest, and we're talking about the kids right now. I don't think it's in the best interest for the kids to really be back in school. I know it sucks from an academic standpoint because there's certain fine points that you get in the classroom environment that you don't get at home on remote learning. I know from my kids, speaking from a personal standpoint, my youngest son had a hard time adjusting and learning remotely because he could just turn his camera off and, they don't have to see him, but, he's still online or whatever the case may be. He could just be, because with me working from home, there's only so much I really can do. So I got to, work my damn self.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pop in and say, hey, what you doing? Cut, all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, most parents don't have that luxury.
Right.
Like most parents in our community, it's a single family household, number one, and two, Mom Dukes is gone to work. She don't have that luxury to make sure that her kids or his kids, there are some single fathers out there, that their kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. Very difficult to.
So I mean, it's a tough decision that you have to make, but when you're talking about the health of your kid and your health too, and the health of others, I think that should be the number one priority. And I don't think even here in our great state of Iowa, we've taken the right precautions with dealing with the kids and bringing them back. And shout out COVID Kimmy. Right. You done it again.
COVID Kimmy.
Yeah.
Shit, I was just watching a news article yesterday, a news story, in 3 days. A couple sent their kids to school and he came back with COVID. 3 days. And I'm looking at them, and they're talking to the news people on, like a on-street interview, and they have the N95 mask on, and I'm just thinking, like, who's more terrified here? Like, the news person knowing they're interviewing someone who has been close to the kid with COVID, or the damn parents who are now just waiting for any day for the COVID test to return positive because they had to send their kid to school.
Now check this out, though. Here's another spin to this, because I also saw and read where I think it was in California or someplace where a certain amount of school teachers and faculty died from COVID, all in the same school, same school. And, I think I seen, because of that, I want to say it's California, but if I'm wrong, put it in the comments and, correct me. But I want to say it was California. And I also saw where California is trying to go to where you have to be vaccinated to be in school. Like, you have to be vaccinated to be in school.
I mean, we do that already for other vaccines, so I don't really understand why this one is as controversial.
When the kids go with the immunization, they want the immunization records and all.
Right, exactly. Measles, tuberculosis. I mean, the whole nine. Hell, you get fucking lice, they send you home. Lice. I don't think lice kills anybody.
You might lose some hair.
No one died. Right.
Itching, but
you're just a dirty motherfucker. But you bring COVID, we'll take that shit to school. You gotta go to school with that. That's I didn't even think about
now,
that.
Granted,
lice more dangerous than COVID.
The faculty that passed away were not vaccinated, so I will say that they were not vaccinated. But still, it's just the risk.
Right.
The risk itself, is it really worth it? You got to worry about the kids. You got to worry about the faculty. I mean, then the parents, bus drivers.
Right.
It's a whole conglomerate.
I just don't know how you square that away at night. I just don't think that there's any amount of education that's worth the risk of killing even fucking 5 people out of 1,000 people in the school. Like, it just doesn't make sense that we found a negotiating point with life where we just, we don't want these kids to be dumb. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to lose teachers and kids. I don't understand. Like, I'd rather just get most of us educated. Some of us die in the process.
Right.
That's the sacrifice. And be like, that doesn't make sense, guys. That doesn't. No, we can tackle this COVID thing, and then we can make up the ground with whoever kids are falling behind.
Yeah. We
all know there's plenty of people who have fallen behind in time, and we've got plenty of programs and ways to get their ass caught up. You know how many, especially in high school, this is actually really where I noticed it, was how many foreigners, new kids, new immigrants would come to high school and have little to no education, let alone up to the point where they're in America now at this high school level.
Right.
And they get in there and they figure that shit out. We figure out a way. Now, granted, I'm sure there's plenty of them that have struggles, but I've seen plenty of folks who have made up that gap and had 10 times as many barriers or issues prior, other than COVID, getting to that point. So,
well, I mean, with that, most of those accomplishments come via summer school.
Sure, fair enough. Exactly. That's what it is. So, we need more summer school. That's what more summer school.
My thing is, how are you going to conduct summer school if, let's say, for example, they send the kids home, and now you got somebody who needs to go to summer school. Is that going to be online?
Now, that's why I'm saying we need to figure out the COVID thing first. Figure out how to get everyone properly vaccinated.
I'm in with that.
Get these different variants under control. And then once it is actually safe to start sending people back to school, we identify who has fallen behind, which would be probably the majority of folks.
Yeah.
And get them the proper resources. Otherwise, where the fuck is that can-do American attitude, man? Where is that? We are the best in the world. Yeah, except when it comes to getting our little kids to read better. I don't understand what.
Wait a minute. Well, let's be clear on something. I think for us to be one of the superpowers, right? Land of the free, opportunity, the embodiment of capitalism at its best. Money. Right. We make so much money and all this stuff. Why the fuck is the United States education always being cut? Why is there always being funds cut from the education department federally,
military budget goes up,
and on the state level?
Police budget goes up.
That. I don't
School
understand
budget goes
that.
down.
School budget always goes.
Always goes down.
Like me and Brother Black was talking about this. Shout out Brother Black. Like, hell, when we was coming up, when we was getting our school supplies, that was for us.
Yeah.
Now, when you buying the school supplies, you have to bring it in to the class, and it's for everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody supposed to be bringing the same shit, and then you compile it, and everybody has to share it throughout the whole school year. Why? Because they cut the fucking. I have never seen. When we was in school, we had books, right? You know, history books, science books, shit like that. My kids don't even have books. They don't even have books like that no more. Dead ass serious, bro. They don't even have books like that. Like, even with my son, when I asked him, like, bro, John, I gotta check him out of the library. Like, what?
What? You just don't get a big ass book, heavy book to go home with no more?
No more books, bro. It hasn't been books for a long time. A long time. So I mean,
maybe that's good to a point. Maybe they figured out how to get rid of that burden of carrying around them heavy ass books. That'd be great. But I hope there is just a lack of book now.
Well, I mean,
and encouraging the kids to go check out the book.
You created a solution, but the solution has detrimental ramifications. Right. I mean, come on. I mean, we're already handicapped with the budget being cut more and more every year. It's hard to produce another Albert Einstein, or I mean, I know they're not from here, but I'm just saying. It's hard to produce.
We got him here though. That American money got him here. That's what I'm
saying. It's hard to produce that type of intellect in the academia world that we have here when you don't have the fucking resources.
True.
You know, it's just like the teachers are so handicapped. Mm-hmm. I feel so bad for them.
Right.
It's not even funny.
So the challenge will be obviously COVID. And then getting kids caught up. But in general, quit fucking with education. I've always kind of wondered about that too. I think it only makes sense to teach everything you know to the next person. And then whatever they learn on top of that, they teach it to the next person. It's just how we stop burning ourselves on fires and accidentally impaling ourselves on sharp objects, you know. We compile the data. Right. You know, honestly, it's not very encouraging.
No, it's not.
You know, this is another one of those times where I'm just healthily reminded that we are on our fucking own.
We are.
The government, while they should, and they owe it to us to save us, they probably are not going to do that.
Well, they got their hands full with dealing with all these natural disasters and, you know, down in the Gulf Coast and in the Northeast and all that other shit. Shout out to y'all down there. I hope y'all doing well. Keeping your head up. You know, I hope y'all got, you know, safe grounds in your houses, you know, intact or whatever the case may be. I'm, you know, definitely thinking about you guys has been affected by that. You know? So don't think that we forgot about you guys. Definitely, you know, thinking about you guys. Make sure y'all looking for your closest FEMA contact or something like that to try to get assistance, whatever you're going through. Seriously, it's still bad.
And for the rest of you who haven't had any of these traumatizing experiences, man, you better get ready. Stockpile, keep a little cash by you.
I believe in that.
By your side, you know, and maybe a weapon or two, man, because we are on our own out here, essentially, all right? And you don't want to find out the hard way.
We're not saying we're on purge level right now.
Right, no, not at all.
But I mean,
look, I'm trying to progress to a peaceful utopia.
Right.
I want to get to a point where the only thing we have to do on a day-to-day basis is clean ourselves and philosophize about life. All right? It's that simple. Our basic needs, our food, our shelter.
Are you trying to go back to the ancient Greek and Roman days?
I'm trying to get to a point where we are so content and we're done destroying, and now we're all about educating and expanding our minds.
Educating, expanding our minds, and building. I'm with that.
Man,
I'm with that.
You know, and it don't look good. It don't look good, but that's the way I'm always pushing the ball. All right, and it gets pushed back down the field halfway every time I push it 1 foot, but fuck it, I'm gonna keep pushing it back the other way.
You know, I'm all about positivity. I try to find the positive light in any situation. Anybody that knows me knows that they probably hate me because of that, because they probably be going through some shit and I'll be like, well, you know, think about this, and you know, they don't want to hear that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I mean, in certain situations, man, it's hard for me to be positive, but I still keep my head up and I still have hope.
True. True. That does remind me of something that happened this week. Earlier when we were walking in, I was talking about how corporate America's been kicking my ass lately.
Mine too.
Got some big changes at work, and it's not that I don't like them, I just don't believe in them, right? So
you're not buying what they're selling.
Right. Yeah. It's not clear to me. And we've been having some highly contentious conversations around this, and it kind of all came to a head in a meeting at work. And our bosses are really doing their best to try to stifle the dissension, and get some attitudes turned around. But you could just tell the overall attitude of everyone was just like, "What the fuck?" But my guy Greg, G-Mac, Mr. Mitchell,
shout out G-Mac,
out of the blue. He hopped into the conversation, and it was dead silent too. Everyone's just thinking like, "Who's gonna say fuck you first?" That's basically what everyone's thinking. Right? And Greg says, "I have to imagine that because of how hard and difficult it is, that is why we were chosen to do this." So, and it just hit me. It just washed right over me that even though this is probably a bad thing in my mind and hard, that indeed there probably is a reason why we were chosen to do this. So that's something you could easily apply to life.
Yeah.
When shit gets to going real fucking hard, there's probably a reason why. Now you're not gonna understand it. You don't even have to understand it, but you've got to believe that there's a reason, and you got to keep pushing.
And then I hate to throw the old cliche out before we close out, but you have to look at it like it can be worse. You can always there's somebody that's always in a worse situation than you. When you feel like you're at rock bottom, trust me, there's somebody that has a whole different level of rock bottom that you don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So be thankful for what you got, where you are, work your ass off. You know what I'm saying? And look, Texas, get y'all shit together. I'm gonna pray for y'all.
I'm not Texas, okay?
I don't even believe in all that
Texas.
Jumbo.
Stop it.
I'm gonna do a fake prayer for y'all because
someone needs to take you over their knee and spank the shit out of you, son.
Don't know where's the Bushes at? Don't y'all got some pool still? I mean, God,
the Bushes is bad. They down there celebrating. You know what I mean? Look,
I'm just
that's a whole nother conversation. Don't get me on the Bushes now. Fuck around and get started.
We got to do that. Yo, be looking out for the Squadcast debates. We gonna be doing that. Me and this man gonna get in about the alkaline water. He's not a believer. I'm gonna prove him wrong. We'll go from there. Everybody got their shows popping off. Look for the new Junkyard game that's gonna be dropping. Look for this show that's gonna be dropping. We got so much stuff cooking for you guys, and we only do it for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We like being able to come in and talk and share this information with you guys. So I hope y'all safe out there, family. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace.
Deuces.